Hi there, good evening. Hugh here. First of all, I'd just like to say the obvious, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. He died today at age 43 of colon cancer. Terrible news that I had to wake up to, just like many people around the world had to wake up to. Well, I live in London in the UK, so a lot of us in this part of the world had to wake up to that. Um, I'm sure the Americans would have known at the same time, obviously, but in a different time zone. But what I wanted to talk about was the implication and the impact that this man had on the world. The implication of what had happened to him and what he had to do through the crisis, through the struggle of his disease, and the impact that he has had on the world. Now, to tell you the truth, I've watched a few of his films. I haven't watched every single film that he's been in, but I'm definitely going to make an attempt to do all of that from now on. Not just because he died, but because of the fact that this man died at age 43 from colon cancer. Now, age 43 for colon cancer. This is a disease that he would have suffered from for 4 years, according to multiple reports. 4 years, and it wasn't publicized. So this man would have had to do all these films, 2016 to 2020. We're talking about Captain America, Civil War, 2016. We're talking about Message from the King, 2016. We're talking about Marshall, 2017. That film was about Thurgood Marshall and his good deeds. Uh, what else? 21 Bridges, 2019. If we go back a year, obviously, Avengers Infinity War, 2018. In 2020, he did The Five Bloods. All those films, and obviously Endgame in 2019 as well. All those films he did while suffering from cancer. Now, he didn't tell nobody. He just did what he needed to do. He hustled. He gave it his all. He put everything into his projects, and that's something that I've got to respect. The man was suffering from a disease that would ultimately take his life and end his life far too soon. I give my condolences to his friends and family, and it really is terrible news. It really is terrible news. Now, what I'd also like to talk about is the fact that a lot of people are going to miss him and share memes and upload videos and posts to commemorate him all over social media, and they're going to remember him mostly for his work as Black Panther. Now, this man did a lot of films. He did way more than just play Black Panther. Now, of course, Black Panther was one of the roles that skyrocketed his career. One of the roles. But remember, this is the man that played, Ernie Davis. This is the man that played Thurgood Marshall. This was the man that played James Brown, for goodness sake. Like, he did a bunch of biopics. He did historical films, so many other films that were just as good as the MCU films. This man is a well respected, trained, established actor. Yet he still had that up and coming feel because there was so much more he could go, especially since Black Panther was going to be one of the strongest and one of the most highlighted characters in Phase 4 of the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It was going to be him, Spider Man, and Captain Marvel. The three of them, they were going to take it. They were going to take phase. They were basically going to lead Phase 4. Now he's died. He's dead now, which is terrible. Obviously for his friends and family and for the rest of us as fans. But it's also not. I mean, I just can't see anybody else playing that role. They might replace him, but it's not like with War Machine where they replaced one actor with another, where they replaced Terrence Howard, who's very reputable, with Don Cheadle, and one of the senior execs of the company at the time was thinking, oh, they won't tell the difference. No one will tell the difference. No, this is 2020. This man's been in multiple films in the MCU. He's got his own movie, which grossed over $1 billion. It was basically at the time the highest grossing superhero movie ever. The man cannot be replaced. The only thing, I don't even know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to make Letitia Wright, his on-screen sister, slash Shuri. I don't know if they're going to make Shuri the big player now, the Black Panther incumbent. I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I've heard rumors that they're gonna bring Killmonger back in Black Panther 2. Maybe he'll take up the mantle. I maybe um you know M'Baku, slash Mane, maybe he could be the next Black Panther. I don't know what the MCU people are going to do. But what I also care about is the fact that his friends and family, they're going to miss somebody they truly care about. And grief is never good, especially at a time like this with all these crises going on in the world. This was a man that was already a big player in Hollywood, and because of his future projects, not just in the MCU, but his other projects that I'm sure would have been just as great, this man would have been making a lot more money. He would have had a bigger, more iconic reputation than he already did. He's going to die an icon because of his prior works. But I want people to understand that this man did a lot of great projects. It wasn't just the MCU that he should be remembered for. This man did a we you got to watch Marshall. You got to watch Ernie Davis. You got that biopic. You got to watch James Brown, but obviously it's called Get On Up. You got to watch all these films. I need to watch all these films, not just you. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I need to watch them too. We need to remember this man for the range he had, for the different roles that he played, not just Black Panther. I mean, it got to the point where he didn't really want to say Wakanda Forever all the time because it was overly requested. So I don't want to go and do a tweet saying Wakanda Forever. I'd rather do a post and hashtag Chadwick Boseman Forever because I think that's more appropriate. The man's gonna live forever because of his works, because he touched the lives and hearts of millions of people, all those young up and coming actors, not just black actors, but actors all across the world that were motivated and inspired to act because of his works. Now, I mean, clearly, in that regard, the man lived a good life. Now, I don't know too much about his personal life, but I'm sure, well, I can only assume that his friends and family loved him. I mean, on the public eye, he was a good guy. No scandal, no BS. No, no one had to cancel him. He did everything right, ticked all the boxes. It's a shame. It really is a shame that he died so soon. 43 is young. It's young. I mean, 43 is young. He should. It's terrible. It really is. I mean, I even spoke to people at work about it. I asked them, "Oh, did you hear about Chadwick?" And everyone's talking about how awful it was because in London we all woke up to it. It's terrible. It really is. And you got to think about those half a dozen plus films that he conducted and performed and completed and acted in while suffering and battling from cancer. That's all you need to know to understand what a legend this man was. And I'm sorry to hear that he's passed on. I mean, I'm only hoping that he's moved on to greater planes and greater things up, upstairs. I really do. I really do. On that note, that's me. I'm done for this video. See you soon. Bye.